Biden administration has struck an agreement with Mexico to reinstate a Trump-era border policy that forces asylum seekers to wait in Mexico for hearings in the U.S. Next week's revival of the policy comes under court order, even as the administration maneuvers to end it in a way that survives legal scrutiny. President Biden scrapped the policy, but a lawsuit by Texas and Missouri has forced him to put it back into effect. Tonight, we look at what is happening to hundreds of millions of dollars of materials purchased for border wall construction that has been canceled by President Biden. That is your tax money. National correspondent William Lajeunesse reports from Yuma, Arizona.
There's supposed to be a gate here, but there's just a hole here now, which renders this part of the fence ineffective.
Miles of fence with no cameras, gates with no power, stands with no lights.
Without it, we're blind.
Former Yuma Border Chief Tony Provoznik examines miles of fencing that remain unfinished.
You're talking probably at least 100 miles or more before you're going to see other cameras.
So where did all the equipment go? We found one stockpile near Yuma. So a mile down the road is something the government does not want you to see. Miles of fiber optic cable for a detection system, lights, cameras, sensors, poles, miles of electrical cable so the gates actually work, so there's power here. All left baking in the sun, exposed to the elements. Now you paid for it, but it sits there because President Biden canceled those border wall system contracts. President Biden canceled effectively $16 billion in wall contracts, stopping not just wall construction, but installation of supporting technology.
A lot of this will be in litigation probably for years, but it's going to cost more to cancel the contracts than it would have to just complete the wall.
Former Border Patrol Chief Rodney Scott calls it a taxpayer waste. But in canceling the contracts, the federal government also relinquished any contractor guarantees when they were forced off the job.
It's absolutely sickening to be transparent.
Most of the canceled contracts are in Texas, where the immigration crisis continues.
We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars at a minimum and probably billions of dollars that they basically repurposed for quote-unquote humanitarian effort. It's disgraceful.
So DHS said today it doesn't know exactly how much it's going to cost to unwind these contracts, how much money could be redirected from the wall to humanitarian efforts, and how much unused inventory remains. What we do know is the Corps of Engineers is now offering that stockpile to other government agencies before it could go to auction or scrapped. Mike?
William Lajeunesse on the border in Yuma. William, thanks. Up next,